Happy holidays, you weirdos that somehow, for whatever reason, listen to my rants and what have you. I am finally home. I did the last job of the year. I was up at this location in very far north Alaska, brutally cold. It was an interesting trip because I didn't find out about it until about 12 hours prior. One of the field managers for my employer asked me, "Hey, just so you know, we're going to send up with you a new hire. This will be the kid's first ever field assignment. He's not allowed to touch anything. Customer isn't paying for him, but we need to get him some experience." And I was a little perturbed because usually I like to sit down with a person, and I'll be real with everybody. Of late, I've had a really low opinion of a lot of our new hires, engineers coming out of the States. They all seem like they want to be Anthony Bourdain, stay at four-star hotels, eat high-priced food, fly, first class and stuff. They have no idea really what the job entails. And a lot of times they just sit there on their damn phones watching YouTube and crap the entire time. So I met the kid at the airport, and I could tell right away he was pretty intimidated by me because I'm big, I'm scary looking, all the scars and stuff. And I was just introduced myself, after his background. I told him a little bit about mine. And I was like, yeah, if you're worried, the scars and stuff on me are not from an arc flash. They're from I was in the military. And the kid does the same thing everyone always does. Oh, no, I wasn't. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can tell you're looking at the right side of my face nonstop. It's cool, kid. It's cool. I was like, so tell me what you know about this project. And he's like, I don't really know. I have no idea. He's like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where we're going really, other than that it's Alaska, and I have no idea what we're doing. I was like, okay. Well, it's a sag mill. You know what a sag mill is? He goes, no. It's this product. Do you know anything about this product? No. Do you have the drawings or the software? He goes, I don't even know how to find that stuff. I'm like, okay, this is good. So I give him a thumbstick. I'm like, this is all the documents, all the material and stuff. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to call up my wife real quick. But when we land, I'll show you. We'll remote into the servers back in the home office. I'll show you how to find this stuff. But if you want to get an idea of what we're going to be doing, your best thing to do is to start reviewing documentation and stuff. And usually at this point, I don't even get this point with the new hires. Usually they don't care. But I was amazed. This kid literally busted out his laptop and plugged the thumbstick in, and he started looking at PDF documents and stuff. And it's been a while since I've had somebody from a U.S. college that kind of did that. So we get up to Alaska, and then we have to take a private plane to get to the mine site. This is not a mine site you can drive to. It's too remote. And I don't know who was more uncomfortable in the plane, me, because I don't fit in those seats, or this kid who I don't think he's ever been on a prop plane before. That was that rattly, and we're flying through some pretty rough conditions. I even asked the kid when they're ready to take off. I'm like, "You feeling all right?" He said, "Sir, I'm a little nervous." I'm like, "That's good. You should be nervous, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine." So we land. It's of course pitch black because it's December up in Alaska. Where we were at, I think they get like 4 hours of light a day in the wintertime. So me and him never saw the light. Didn't have to get a rental car because we're literally landing on the company airstrip. It wasn't so bad we were landing on skis, but I have a feeling that they could actually set the plane up with skis instead of wheels so they could land and pick people up and stuff. This is a site that's so remote that the quote-unquote local workforce all live in the lower 48 states. And they have a deal where they do something like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Because there ain't nothing up there. Nothing up there. There's no hotels, there's no restaurants, or nothing. And we were just there to do planned maintenance on this big piece of equipment. The drive that controls this big, massive motor. And that big, massive motor then just spins the sag mill, which is basically an oversized rock tumbler. So it's the first day that we've done anything. We really haven't done anything. We're just kind of waiting. And in the drive room, it's been me, this young kid from my company, and then an electrician. And I've just been doing my prep work kind of thing, making sure the software inside of the equipment is the same and so on. But we go to lunch. We really haven't done anything. And me and the kid are just sitting there in the lunchroom by ourselves because we're contractors. We're not like the rest of everybody. So they're all sitting with each other. They don't really know us. Me and this kid are sitting by ourselves. And I said to the kid, I'm like, you've got a lot of questions. Why are you not asking questions? He said, oh, well, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm like, dude, we haven't done anything. We're waiting on permission to do stuff. Now is the time to ask questions. And the kid is kind of hemming and hawing, and I just leaned forward across the table. I'm like, you're afraid of embarrassing yourself to me, aren't you? Well, no. I don't want to waste your time, and you know, a lot of my questions are probably stupid. I was like, have you noticed that electrician hasn't asked me anything? Well, he probably knows this equipment really well. I'm like, he doesn't know shit about this equipment. He is as confused and as lost, if not more so, than you. But just like you are intimidated to ask me questions, he's intimidated to ask me questions. You are his safety relief valve. I need you to ask questions. Don't worry about looking bad in front of the customer, because I guarantee you that guy is going to stand there and pull out a notepad and start writing down everything that we're talking about. Well, I got these questions. I'm like, not here. I'm at lunch. I was like, I don't have the hardware, I don't have the software, I don't have the drawings in front of me. Wait till we're back in the drive room. That's where you ask the questions. Right now, we're just here to eat a meal for like 30 minutes. We get still a little time off, son. Don't give away free time. So we finish a really, really crappy meal. Go back to the drive room with the electrician. And the kid, to his credit, because I've had this conversation before with new hires, and it goes in one ear out the other. He starts peppering me with questions, everything. Like literally, he's like, I'm really embarrassed to say this. I don't know how to read these electrical drawings. I was like, good. I understand why you can't. They're Japanese electrical drawings. They're confusing. And I start explaining to the kid what these different things mean, like 52s or output switchgear, yada, yada, yada. Why is it numbered 52 and so on? What all the different components are. And since we have the drive tagged out and opened up, we're literally taking the drawings and we're going to each and every component we're finding inside the drive. We're doing this for about 15 minutes when the electrician goes, hey, do you guys mind stopping? And the young kid starts to apologize. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I know we have work to do. And the electrician's like, no. If you guys just hold on. He gets on the radio. Next thing you know, we have 5 more electricians in there. So now I'm going through with 6 electricians and my new hire, how to look at the drawings, how to pull stuff up, yada, yada, yada. Now, these electricians are supposed to be doing some other stuff on the site, but everybody's kind of waiting for permission to do things. So it's not like we're causing delays or anything. We're using the downtime. And I'm going through step by step how we're going to repower this thing up, how I'm going to do various checks and so on, like verifying contacts are operating, so on. What happens if those contactors don't work? They literally rolled in a whiteboard into the drive room and gave me some markers, and I'm filling up the screen of the whiteboard with like electrical schematics and so on. And at various points, I have to stop so that the electricians can each take photos with their phones. So this is going pretty smoothly and all, and these guys are learning a lot. Now, the reason I want them to learn a lot is I don't get phone calls in the middle of the night then. If they know how to troubleshoot this stuff, it's that much easier. And the big problem for a lot of these guys on these sites is they have to worry about their mechanical systems all the time. But their mechanical systems cause problems in their electrical system. And they don't really get a chance to take apart this electrical equipment, or nobody trains them on how this solid-state electronic stuff works. It becomes a real nightmare for them. You don't get good at troubleshooting stuff that always works. That's what I'm trying to say. So I got 6 of these electricians all sitting in chairs. My junior guy is also there, standing there, and they're all writing notes as I'm explaining stuff on the whiteboard. Wouldn't you know it? That's when this electrical engineer, the supervisor, walks in, and I immediately stop what I'm doing. And he's just like, what the f is this? It's like, oh well, I was answering some questions about this equipment, sir. That's not what you're paid to do. You're paid to to do this planned maintenance. It's not to just stand around shooting the shit. I have no earthly idea why he would think we're shooting the shit. Nobody stands around shooting the shit talking about pulse width modulation and power factor correction. Like the whole whiteboard is filled with all this technical stuff. And he just starts in on his electricians. He kicks 5 of the 6 electricians out, and then he starts going in on me and my junior guy. How this is a waste of his time and his money. Yada, yada. And my junior guy is apologizing up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'm like, I'm wanting to kick the kid in the shin, go like, hey, shut up, I'll handle this. But finally the guy turns and looks up to me. He goes, what are you got anything to say? And I said to him, I was like, it sounds like you want to talk to me and his boss. If you want, I can give you his contact information. Damn right you will. And I give him the contact information for this guy. And then he stomps off. And my junior guy is apoplectic. He's like, Smith, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to get you in trouble. I'm like, I'm not in trouble. I don't know. He seems pretty heated. I was like, he can't do shit to me. And the one electrician is still there. He goes, he is all of our bosses. I was like, he's a kind of a real prick, and he can make your life live in hell up here. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets you kicked off the site. And I looked at that electrician and I said, no, he's not. He has no way, shape, or form will he be able to kick me off site. I'll bet my house he doesn't come in his drive room again. And the electrician goes, how do you figure? I go, I guarantee you he's never had dinner with the owner of this company. And I meant the owner that owns this mine, who owns a lot of mines all over the West Coast, Utah, Arizona, and so on. I was like, I guarantee he's never had dinner with the bosses of the boss. I have very good connections with your company. This is the owner of this mine has actually flown my wife and kid out to Utah because I was stuck at one of his sites for so long, and he likes me so much that he had my wife and my son hang out with his wife and his kids because I was doing a job for you guys that went like 18 months straight. I have a very good relationship with the owner of this mine. So when he calls back, if he's dumb enough to call my boss is going to just directly beeline call the owner of the site and ask him, how do you want us to handle this? Smith has a problem with one of your electrical supervisors. That guy's never coming back in this drive room. Don't worry about it. So we go back to work. And again, the really frustrating thing was, it wasn't like as soon as he came in here and he left, we just immediately went to work, like I was causing delays. No, we were still waiting for permission to bring on low voltage onto the drive. And I can't do that without permission. So we sat around for like maybe 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. I was like, don't call those other guys in, but let's just pass that. Let's use the time, not waste the time. Turns out I was right. That young electrical engineer never once stepped foot in that drive room again. He didn't greet me or say goodbye to me when I left. I had to get somebody else to sign my paperwork for my hours and stuff. But as we're leaving the drive, or we're leaving for the end of the week, that electrician was like very, very thankful to me. He's like, hey, Smith, I've had this gear for like 6 years, and I had no idea really how it worked. I feel a lot more comfortable troubleshooting it all. I was like, well, a buddy effed you, right? He says, what do you mean you buddy effed me? I was like, you're now the expert. Whenever you're on your 2 weeks in the lower 48 states and you want time off, they're going to call you up because now you are the guy that knows how all this stuff works. I hope you took good notes. He goes, I took good notes and I know your cell phone number. I was like, yeah, that's true. But he was like, I can't thank you enough. Hey, man, if we were in Wyoming, I'd take you out on dinner and drinks on the town. He's like, you made my life so much simpler. I was like, no, I appreciate that. If you're in Appalachia, I'd do the same thing for you. And then the young kid, the entire flight back, he's like, man, I learned more in 4 days than I knew I learned 4 years of electrical engineering school. And I say, hey, son, I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm always trying to help out the next generation, if you will. Because I didn't tell him this, but the last couple of new hires I had were just awful. These are kids that were signing up with an engineering company, and every single one of them were just waiting for some stupid co-op to offer them money to go out to California to work on the next stupid phone app. But we landed in Appalachia, and of course, my wife is there to pick me up. And I told him, hey, don't worry about an Uber. Get in the car. We'll drive you to where you need to go. And took him to his crappy apartment. But the kid said to me on the ride home, hey, if it's okay with you, I'm going to ask, Hans, who's our field manager, I'm going to ask Hans if I could shadow you for all your jobs. I said, yeah, sure. If you want to ask him, by all means, just a word of warning. I live on the road, man. He goes, no, that'd be great. Yeah. I was like, that's good, man. I was like, the big thing is just try to learn as you go. Just try to learn as you go. Never be afraid to ask questions. When you stop asking questions, that's when somebody gets hurt. That's when something gets broken. So even though I didn't want to do this job up in Alaska because I really wanted to have the entire month of December off, it was actually really rewarding. There are times where I really start to hate my job, but then when you get somebody new, fresh face, who's really interested, willing to interact with me and ask questions, it's very, very rewarding. Makes me feel young again. But I think this kid's got a really great, bright future. And thank God I'm not in Alaska anymore. I don't know how those guys up there do it. I need sunlight at least once in a while. But anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're ready for the holidays. Y'all take care. Ciao.